how I don't need social media to validate any relationship that I have with a woman too. Like some things I like to keep private too. Like I feel like some things I want to keep for myself, you know, like my business, you know, whoever's my woman, like I want that to be for me. Like if I'm always posting her, or if I'm, you know, constantly posting our relationship, I'm naturally involving people on social media in my relationship to give opinions on. And for me, I'd rather keep it like mysterious. Like I'd rather have people assume, is he married? Does he have a girlfriend? Like who is his girlfriend? Who is he married to? Like I actually rather keep that to myself now. And I feel like that's kind of new, you know. I feel like maybe it's because the way we are as individuals and the way we're going, like we're starting to become like kind of like public figures basically in a way. And, you know, people are weird. Like, you know, people, they find out where you live and something like that. They find out who your spouse is. Like they'll start messaging them or DMing them. And, you know, there's weirdos out there, and like I'd rather just not put the people who I love in a position where like our relationship can become vulnerable.
Welcome back to Self Revelations. It's your boy B-Dav.
And I'm Juan Breno.
Today we are back with another one, episode 41.
Yep.
Episode 41, Wannavelli man. How you been doing? How's your process been going with your journey? And how's everything been going?
I think for me, everything has been going good. Just like, you know, I feel like sometimes I focus a lot on like self-reflection. Like, where am I at right now? Where am I trying to go? Am I really doing everything to pursue the ultimate goal or my goals, whatever I have daily? Like, I always just try to make sure like I'm following a line with where I want to be. So whether if it's spiritually, whether it's like my relationship with God, whether it's all of my relationships, like, and my most, you know, goals impact. Like I try to like make sure I'm surrounding myself every day with like what I'm listening to, what I'm choosing to influence me. Like that's why I don't really have time to watch like certain nonsense things, like anything concerning that's not related to my life. You know, it's like if it ain't gonna make me better, if it's not gonna, you know, create me to be the best version that I can be, then I just have no time for it. Like I can't watch certain shows. I can't even remember the last time I watched a movie, bro. And I used to love movies, but I feel like, you know, 3 hours watching a movie, like that's 3 hours gone.
That's OD.
Yeah, and like to each his own though. I'm not saying like you shouldn't watch movies or whatever, but like for me, there's something inside of me that like tells me like 3 hours to watch this movie is just not worth it. I could be doing something else like way more productive with my time. So I just try to focus on like I seen you laughing. That's why I knew what you were laughing. I knew what you were laughing at too. He was laughing because I said what I say. Like something inside of me.
Okay. Come on, bro. I just, you know what I mean?
Grow up, bro.
I didn't say that. But no, I mean, I feel what you're saying. Like,
no, I'm playing though.
You know
but
what
yeah.
I mean? Yeah, I feel what you're saying. I feel what you're saying, and you're just on your grind. You know what I'm saying? When you're trying to get something or get to a certain position, you know, there's just certain things that you don't want. You don't have time for video games. You don't have time for all that stuff because it's like, you know, you got people like dependent on you. So I 100%, you know, I'm glad that you're on this journey and you're getting ready for
Ramadan,
right?
And it actually in it right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
like now it started, so like I have to wait till tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. That's when or almost 6 a.m. That's when the real fasting, like that's when like, you know, the obligatories, like obviously you gotta pray 5 times a day and then not eat and drink or fasting with your intentions and all that stuff. Yeah, it started now.
Okay. Okay. And how do you feel going into it?
I think it's good. I'm trying to like make sure like with this Ramadan, I'm trying to work on like my habits and my vices, you know, like my intentions, my habits. If I get, you know, if I feel overwhelmed, there's no more opening a beer. There's no doing things that, you know, there's certain things too that I keep to myself, you know, like there's a lot of things that we are open on, especially with this podcast and even like friendships, all type of relationships, you know, either with women or my family. Like there's certain things I keep to myself, you know, certain things that you keep with God, like that you're working through. You know, there's a lot of things that I'm working through that once I'm ready to talk about it, I will. So like working on those things, like, you know, when I get stressed out, to not approach this vice. Like just because I had a hard day, not to go open a beer, like, and other things as well. So like with this Ramadan, I'm trying to like focus on, like, basically I'm doing a detox. Like I'm detoxing from all the habits, all the vices, certain thought patterns, and being more purposeful with my day and getting closer to God, and basically like focusing on like just really doing like a dopamine detox. Basically that's what I'm doing, is like a dopamine detox, at the same time getting more knowledge with like the religion of Islam. So that's kind of like my focus for this Ramadan.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. You know, I'm supporting you 100% of the way. And I'm glad you're on this journey to better your relationship with God. But to dive right into, you know, our topic of the day, I think this one is a very good one. I know we dibbled and dabbled on it in a little bit of our other episodes. But today we're going to be talking about the impact of social media in relationships. So I don't know if you have a lot of experience in this in your relationships, but I've experienced things positive and negative with this in relationships. One of the things, it's more, for me personally, it's more negative things that I've experienced than positive. You know, I've been in a lot of situations to where social media, something as small as a post, something as small as maybe a like, something as small as maybe, you know, someone liking my stuff, it could lead to, you know, frustration, turmoil, miscommunication, headbutting in a relationship, when all reality, like, social media doesn't exist. Like, if you really think about it, like it is a realm. It's like video games. Like it's not real. You feel what I'm saying? And not saying it doesn't have any positive aspects to it, you know, especially with our platform. Social media has been a major impact in us building our business, but relationship wise, you know, it's harmed a lot of my relationships. And certain things that I just don't even think of. Like, if you think about it, like, to you, like, do you think like someone liking and commenting on your page would lead to like headbutting in your relationship? Because in my experience, that has happened in the past, like in my other relationships. You know what I'm saying? But that's out of your control. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it just doesn't. There's a lot of things that add on to it. But what about? Has there been a lot of experiences with you in your old relationships that the social media has negatively or positively impacted you?
I think it always goes like towards negative. Because for me as a man, right, I'm not looking at your likes. I'm not going on your Instagram. I'm not going through your messages. I don't care. Not like I don't care. Like, why would I waste my time trying to look for something, right? Because when you're trying to look for something, you start connecting dots that aren't even there, right? Like for me, right, I could like a girl's post, right? And let's say she's like half naked, right? And I like the post. Obviously, I liked it because either I'm attracted to it, or maybe she showed me love on my page and I showed love. And to me, it might not mean nothing, right? To me, it's just like I liked it. I didn't have no like I'm liking it so she can message me, and then I can message her, and I can sneak behind. No, I'm not. Like, for me, I just liked it. Like I could literally like it, have a certain feeling that moment, and then go on my day because I have other things I got to focus on. This ain't that much of a big deal. But if my girl then sees that like, guess what happens? She starts thinking, am I not enough? Is he texting this girl? Is he cheating on me with this girl? What does she have that I don't have? Then you start comparing, and then you start questioning, and then you start assuming, and then now the woman has now gone down this like rabbit hole. But to you, it didn't mean shit. So like that's why I don't like social media like for relationships, because it causes a lot of assumptions. And like for me, right, social media is just a platform. Like, it ain't real life. Mm-hmm. And basically like and then my woman could think something deeper. Like, she might think this is way more deeper than it is. And so yeah, I feel like with social media, it always came out with a lot of bad. Mm-hmm. So that's why it kind of pushed me off from posting or even being on there. And honestly, I honestly encourage like the women in my life and like the relationships, like don't be on social media then. Like if you're gonna like make something out of everything, like just leave it, like get off of that, delete it then, because I don't want to always be getting questioned about like my intentions or whatever, like especially if I don't take it serious. Like it's just social media, but yeah, mostly it's been like more negative if anything than positive on a relationship standard though.
Yeah, exactly. Because I feel like it's a different responsibility once you get into a relationship. You know what I mean? Like, especially as a woman, like that can be one of the things where, you know, someone might not be attracted to you just off of how you portray yourself on social media. You know what I mean? And, you know, that plays a big part. And, you know, a lot of the things that, you know, doing the research and looking at like the negative effects of it, you know, one of the big things about it, the negative things about it is, you know, comparison. You know, you can have a perfectly good relationship. You can have someone who genuinely loves you, someone who cares for you, someone that you can really build a life with. But you know, look over here at Joe Blow that might seem on social media that he might have more clout or he might have more money or he might be doing more on social media. And now you're sacrificing, you know, you're putting your relationship on the line by replying to this dude or by liking this dude's pictures or reaching out to this dude, or it could be anything. And now that you devalue your relationship and now you're pursuing someone else because you feel like this person can do better for you when you were in a good situation to begin with. Another thing is miscommunication. You know, just how you said, it could be something that you don't even think about. You know what I mean? Like it could just be something like, okay, they show love, I'm gonna show love on their picture. But to your woman, maybe it might be something that digs at her and she's like, oh, well, he might not love me, or he might love this woman, or what's going on, yada yada, and question you. And it's like the whole time you're like, oh, well, I love you. Like it's just like social media it's not even real.
Yeah.
You know, and another thing that could lead into that is invasion of privacy. You know, you don't want to get to the point to where it's like every time you're around your partner, it's, hey, let me see your phone. Like I feel weird about something. Or, you know, you leave your phone somewhere and your partner's looking through it. Like that's one of the things that can tear somebody apart, because even though I have nothing to hide, even though I know I'm loyal, why are you trying so hard to look for something? You know, that would move me in the wrong way, especially if I'm in the beginning of pursuing somebody. It's like what are you looking for? You know what I mean? You know, I know the trust thing is very hard, but at some point, you know, what's right in front of you? You dig what I'm saying? And one of the last things is infidelity. You know, basically emotionally or physically cheating. I know that social media can lead to either one of those things in a relationship. And I've been in a relationship to where, you know, it's a hard pill to swallow, but looking and seeing, damn, my woman was messaging someone else, you know what I mean? Or flirting with someone else while you guys were in a relationship. And it's definitely not a good feeling. And I've been on the other spectrum where I, you know, was at, you know, it was the first couple of my relationships, and I couldn't understand why it was so hard on my girlfriends at the time, why I was talking to maybe a female friend that I thought was really a friend, but the fact that those girls had access to me hurt my partners, my early partners. So it's just a whole bunch of things that go into it that can, you know, be negative. But the positive things, what do you think positive that you can take from social media in a relationship? Because I know for me, seeing like things on social media, maybe, you know, when I think of like date night, if I need something like a date night experience, I'm like, okay, what's something different that we can do? Go on TikTok, you know, go to the search engine and I can find something. Or, you know, anything you have questions about, you can basically go and find information on. Or like you start a business with your spouse, that can be looked up as positive. You guys have a business account or whatever. But in your experience, what's something positive that you think that social media can bring to a relationship or from a relationship in your experience?
Damn, I see no positives. When it comes to like idea generating, like what to do with your partner and like maybe places to go, I think I see that, right? Like, but I feel like nothing really comes positive from the social media aspect in a relationship, unless you're like sharing like funny videos and like like funny TikToks or whatever. Like that makes sense to me, but I feel like social media more like hurts like relationships, just because like kind of like what we're talking about, like the assumptions that can be created and kind of questioning the other person, like privacy, like how you were talking about too, like yeah, it's hard for me to see positives, man. Like for me the only positives I really see is like just sharing like, you know, funny memes and videos. But 'cause I feel like comparison comes a lot in like social media in relationships. Like you see somebody's getting married, or you see somebody's having a kid, or you see somebody on a trip somewhere, and then you start to look into yourself and your relationship. You're like, we're not vacationing, I'm not having kids yet, I'm not married yet. Then it brings this like insecurity of like you start rushing your own progress, or you might not even want certain things, and then you see it on social media and now you want it, right? Like you never thought about really getting married, but then now you see everybody's getting married. You're like, I want to get married. Why am I not married? Am I not
Looks
enough?
fun.
Yeah, it looks fun. Why am I not enough? Like, so yeah, for social media, I can't really see no positives.
Yeah. Joe and Jasmine got married within 2 years. We're 5 years in our relationship. Why aren't we married? You know what I mean? Why haven't?
And how am I supposed to answer that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it puts me in a position where like now I gotta sound like whatever I say is not gonna come out good, right? I could be like, imagine that, right? They've been together for 2 years, they got married. We've been together for 5 years and we haven't got married. And like, you know what I mean? Like, you can have your own reasons why. Like, for me, I don't really value marriage as much as other people maybe do, right? I don't like the government being involved, and that's the reason why I don't want to get married. But I would like the wedding ceremony and like all that stuff. I think that's dope. I think and like I don't need a paper to identify our relationship, just like how I don't need social media to validate any relationship that I have with a woman too. Like some things I like to keep private too. Like I feel like some things I want to keep for myself, you know, like my business, you know, whoever's my woman, like I want that to be for me. Like if I'm always posting her, or if I'm, you know, constantly posting our relationship, I'm naturally involving people on social media in my relationship to give opinions on. And for me, I'd rather keep it like mysterious. Like I'd rather have people assume, is he married? Does he have a girlfriend? Like who's his girlfriend? Who is he married to? Like I actually rather keep that to myself now. And I feel like that's kind of new, you know. I feel like maybe it's because the way we are as individuals and the way we're going, like we're starting to become like kind of like public figures basically in a way. And, you know, people are weird. Like, you know, people, they find out where you live and something like that. They find out who your spouse is. Like they'll start messaging them or DMing them. And, you know, there's weirdos out there, and like I'd rather just not put the people who I love in a position where like our relationship can become vulnerable. Because for me, I'm not gonna get phased from no opinion, no view. I'm not rushed. Not in no competition. But that doesn't mean my woman's gonna be like that. Like my woman's emotional. She could easily get caught in social media. I'm not saying like she's not smart, she's not wise enough not to. But if I'm not there to guide her and tell her like what social media can do, then she might slip up like everybody else, like comparison. So for me, like I just try to, you know, get away with like putting my relationships on social media. I'd rather just have everybody like assume and me just promote. Bro, like I'm using social media as a platform, as a tool to leverage myself and leverage our business, our podcast. And so I don't need to share my life anymore on there unless I'm talking about it on a clip or on this podcast. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I've always had a problem with like posting who I'm with. Like it just always felt weird, like feeling the need. Like of course, like, you know, every once in a while, cool, but it's like it just feels cringy to me, like posting like my girl, yada yada yada. Oh, look at me, like you know, we're so happy, yada yada yada. I'd rather have like you said, a relationship that's mysterious. You know what I mean? A relationship that you know that outside of social media, you know the foundation of your relationship is A1. You know you got your person. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't want to be the type to to be posting, doing all this stuff, and then we can't even stand each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But on social media, it looks good. On social media, we're married. On social media, we have kids. It looks all gravy. But when it comes to real life, oh yeah, we not fucking with each other. You know what I mean? So I've always been like that, and and even now, like I don't feel the need to do that, or like I have to post my woman every Wednesday. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. It's not a priority. But I kind of want to shift into asking you this. Okay, so with the social media, for someone getting into a relationship or being in a relationship, because a lot of people just don't know. You know what I mean? How could someone navigate being in a relationship and social media? Because I know from my experience, certain things and certain people, how they portray themselves on their social media, kind of gives me the green flag or red flag. I'm just being completely honest. As a male, and plenty of times dating, pursuing different women, when you go on that Instagram page, you can have the coolest relationship with that person. When you go on that Instagram page, if it's some shit on there that, doesn't really show that maybe you respect yourself, that maybe you respect, your body, that, you have you might not have maybe the best role models coming up, but having a good foundation of, it's okay to post what you want to post, but you can't blame anyone for maybe losing interest because of how you portray yourself on your social media. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I'm biased in a lot of ways, because when I was pursuing, when I was single and I was pursuing people, like I would just completely like just I couldn't I can't think of myself taking this person serious with what I see. You feel what I'm saying? And that's all comes from preference. It's okay to have a preference, just like someone might be like, okay, well, I don't like black guys. I don't like athletes. I don't like such and such. You know what I mean? It's all of a preference, and that's perfectly fine. But for you, how do you feel like someone can navigate in a relationship with social media?
Like for myself, I don't even want my woman to have like social media, or even as well as maybe I wouldn't want my woman too much on social media. Like in my relationship, like I don't know, maybe this is a natural thing for me, but like all the women that I've been with, they never really were on social media as much. Like I never really had to like communicate a lot, like what to do, what not to do, and like some of the women are like that I've been with are like great women, but like the ones that I knew not to take serious were like which is a sad truth, right? I feel like a lot of women don't realize this. It's not that you're on social media, and it's not that like the pictures that you post is like over sexualizing yourself. That's not a problem, but it actually says a lot about you though. Like it's not the fact that, okay, I'm on Instagram and I'm posting pictures of myself, I'm loving myself, I'm a boss babe, like I like the way I look, I'm posting only for myself. Like they have all these like reasons that they say, but it's actually bigger than that, because I feel that not only are you posting yourself in a certain way, and let's be fair and honest, like you like the attention, and the validation, the acceptance. Like you also see what kind of men that you gravitate towards you based off like how you look and stuff, right? And for me, what that says is like, okay, this woman, she likes the attention, B, she craves male acceptance and attention and praise, and other women like giving her reward for her body. And then C, it kind of shows like your priorities, like that, like you posting yourself, like I would like my woman for like myself, like her body, right? That should only be something that I cherish. But if you're posting all over like social media, it kind of like, in my eyes, it devalues you, because that's one of the most beautiful things in a woman is like their aesthetics. I mean, that's my thing, right? Like I love the way women look. you know. And so if you're putting all over social media, you know, unfortunately, I can never take you serious because I feel like I have an idea of like where your head's at, you know. And so for me, like I rather just not have my woman even be on social media. Those are the women I take serious, you know. Like she don't got social media like that. She's not posting herself like that. She only goes there, you know, off and on here and there, but she doesn't value it, you know. You seen it, you know, like there's some women that will rather give up a man than give up social media. Like they'd rather give up a good man and keep their Instagram following, you know. And like those type of women you can never take serious. Like
they know what it does to them.
Yeah.
They know what that social media does to them.
And sadly, like those are the type of women that, you know, you only have a lust for them. You know, you would never take them serious. You would never marry a woman like that. But I don't want to close that idea of, I feel like if a man gets into like a certain woman's life that does post like that, I think naturally they will also give up that stuff for the right man. So you just might not be that right man, you know, and you might be insecure with yourself and she might not see the value in you. I think every woman that I've been with that like wanted to take me serious, they were always willing to like give up social media. Not like because I told them to, but more like they don't need to maybe look for acceptance or validation. They might only not want it from you instead because they know what they got, you know, like a certain woman's going to know like when they have a man and they're willing to give up a lot of things to help please that man, you know, in a traditional sense too, like back then. But like if you're not that type of guy and you don't hold your frame and you don't, you know, show your value without even really like flaunting it, you just who you are, right? And you don't accept certain stuff and you have like, you know, boundaries and you have rights and wrongs and things that you won't accept in a relationship. Like those type of women, once they like get around a man like that, they'll give up that type of stuff. But yeah, but for me, you know, like navigating social media in a relationship, I think any type of social media presence, like you have to be very intentional. Like, is this for business or is this for validation and acceptance and attention? Like, if it's that, I wouldn't even want to get in a relationship with a woman like that. Like, if she knows who I am and what I offer and she still wants to like value social media so high, everything is social media. Not everything is about how you look instead of like how you feel in real life in your relationship. Then I don't want nothing to do with somebody like that.
Yeah, because at some point it's like, okay, you're posting this picture for yourself, right? So why isn't it in your photo gallery? What are you posting it for? They know they all know what it does to them. They all know what those likes, what those comments, what it does for them. You know what I mean? And if you're in a relationship, like you said, in a relationship with someone that you know what they bring to the table, maybe the man that you know, like, okay, this is the guy I will kind of conform for or to. You know, I know he probably wouldn't like this, so he doesn't even have to tell me. I'm just going to naturally do these things because he's him. You know what I mean? But if she don't feel like you him, then she gonna keep doing the same shit. You could tell her like, oh, hey, this is what I'm not comfortable with. This is what I don't like. Yada, yada. And she's gonna keep doing those same things. It's because she doesn't respect you. She doesn't have that level of value for you. Honestly, like she could tell you all that she wants. Oh yeah, I love you. Woo, woo. But at the end of the day, actions. What is she doing with her actions? If she's still posting like she's single but she's in a relationship, chances are she don't really care about what you think. That validation and those likes and that dopamine from getting all that is more important than your feelings, bro. You know, so at the end of the day, like, you know, you just gotta take it on the chin and make that decision. Like if that's a non-negotiable for you, communicate that, you know, or hey, if you're not gonna do anything about it, then stop your fucking bitching, you know. Stop your bitching and you know, and communicate. So I know in my past I've dealt with things like of that nature, or like, you know, being in a relationship and say me and my you know ex get into it, and the first thing that happens is they go to social media, or she'll go to Instagram and post a provocative picture or post a revealing picture. It's like, if you're gonna post like that when, you know, things are going bad or whatever. No telling what you're doing. You know, I'm not going to go through your phone. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go through and ask you who you've been talking to. Nah, it's, you know, it is what it is, because at the end of the day, like, God's going to reveal, like, the dirt that you've been doing, regardless of you feel like you being sneaky, you feel like you're never going to get caught. It's going to happen. So, at the end of the day, when me as a man, looking at social media and relationships, if I communicate or not, how I feel about it, or you just know, okay, maybe if I post a bikini picture, you know, my man might not like that, because now anybody, especially if you have a public social media, anybody can click on your profile and see your body and can see what you have. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is a certain level of, like, respect you gotta have for, like, modesty has to be you gotta have certain level of modesty if you want to have a serious relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, some men don't care. Like, that's just real. Like, some people don't care. Like, oh yeah, post what you want to post. But, you know, as for me, it's just like, I'll be lying if I say I don't lose respect for you when you have those type of things on your profile. Mm-hmm. That's just the real. That, you know what I mean? Like, you have, okay, you're in a relationship with this dude. You're posting bikini photos. You're posting, you know, vacation photos, this, that, revealing. You're showing your breasts, whatever, and you're expressing yourself is what you're saying. That's not really, like, I don't, in my personal opinion, and I could be wrong, that's not someone that is taking their relationship serious, you know. And it's you're putting yourself in a hot girl summer rather than, you know, being as faithful as you can be in a relationship. And yeah, it's not probably not cheating, you know. It might not be looking at cheating to somebody, but, you know, just imagine your man have 100,000 followers and he's posting his body. You know what I mean? What's the difference in that? Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? Like, your man posting his body. Maybe a lot of women are like liking, commenting, such and such. That's gonna bother you in a way. So why would you want to do that to your man if you have respect for him?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. You know, but like, if that's the way you make money, then that person that gets with you has to accept it or communicate it. You know, like, if that's your way of getting money, then I understand. But, like, for me, I just don't want nobody that, like, I want clarity, you know. I want peace. I don't care what's going on social media. I don't really care about, like, who's doing what, this person's doing this, like, comparison. Like, I'm trying to focus on, like, doing what I gotta do, like, personally though, like, you know what I mean. I'm not really focused on, like, honestly, Tekashi 6ix9ine got beat up. I'm not focused on, like, you know, Mariah Carey is over here gonna drop another album, or Beyonce. Like, be honest, I don't give a fuck about none of these people. Like, that's the only thing I don't like about social media too. Like, you know, you're always talking about stuff that's irrelevant, you know. That's why you have all these things that we're focusing on that's not a lot of first world problems, you know what I mean? Like, there's this one video that I had reposted a while ago. Like, 50 Cent was talking about depression. And 50 Cent was talking about how, like, depression is like a luxury. The fact that you get to be depressed is like a first world problem. Because imagine, like, that single mother, imagine that single dad, or the person that just got let go of their job, the person that has to pay rent next month but they don't have no job, or they lost their job. Unfortunately, something happened. Like, they don't have time to sit here and worry about how they feel. Like, you know, the rent, like, you know, there's no excuses. Like, you gotta pay that rent. You know, it doesn't matter what happened. Like, you gotta come up with the money. You know, and, like, the people who, like, really be struggling. Like, I remember too that there's times where, like, something, like, I've been through it recently too. Like, there'll be something that has, you know, something that's catastrophic that happened, and you feel bad. Like, you feel like there's uncertainty. Like, you don't know what's gonna happen. You feel depressed already. Like, your emotions are in the way. But there's no time to tap into that. You gotta, like, you know, handle it accordingly. You have to do certain tasks to resolve the problem. You have to make some calls. You gotta go to certain places. Like, there's no time to sit here and, like, wander and ponder about how you feel. But the fact that you get to be depressed and sad, that also says that you got a choice. You know, like, you could do something about it. And I don't know where this came from, but I just felt like having to say that because, like I feel like we're so focused on some stuff that's like irrelevant. You know what I mean? Like when you really think about it, we really gotta focus on like what's real, like your actual relationships in a physical like form. You know, not social media. Because you know how many times like people post couple pictures because they have to. You know, like a man will post their woman because because she said like, how come you don't post me and stuff like that. And like once you get into that world of like your girl wants you to post and you start posting for her, like I just post because she wants me to, you have lost respect. I think, like, I feel like, because if you just hold your frame and you're like, look, I'm more worried about our relationship in real life than I am me posting you for what, for girls to know or something, or well, you don't trust me, you don't respect me, or you want me to post just so you could feel good because I posted you, like that is a big issue to me. Like we're gonna have to address that and fix that, because you shouldn't validate our relationship on an image. You know what I mean? Like our relationship should be solid. The way we talk, the way we communicate, our everyday. Like if it gets to the point where social media is a validation of your relationship, and it's those little things like you posting because you have to, or she's posting because you're nagging or something. You know what I mean? Or you're worried about people in the comments. Like at that point, like there's respect. The respect is gone. So I was like, you got to really establish yourself and realize, like, you know, this is real life, you know, like every day, not being on your phone. When your phone's not in your hand, when you're not on it, like that's real life. You know, exactly. The moment that you get on that app, like it's a, you know, it's not reality. It's an image. What are people promoting on that app or that social media that they want you to see? You know what I mean? It's never what's really going on behind the scenes, you know? So like, yeah.
No, I see. And just to kind of dig back into what I was saying earlier, about, you know, social media and relationships, you know, if you're with someone that portrays themselves like that, but they're doing it in they have a business, they're modeling, or they're doing something on the lines where they have to post, affiliate marketing, anything in those nature, and they, you know, they might be affiliate marketing for a clothing brand, a bikini brand, or anything like that, and it involves a business. Like, hey, that, like, all the stuff I was saying is like out, because they're doing it to make money. You feel what I'm saying? I'm talking about when they're doing it because they want to. You know what I'm saying? You're posting, you might post a booty pic in a bikini outfit. Why are you posting it? If you have a man and, you know, he has nothing to do with the picture, right? So what are you posting it for? You know what I'm saying? You might be proud of your body.
Hearing the replies, I think hearing the replies are always funny. Like when you ask them, like, because I've asked women this too, like, you know, why you post that? And then they'll be like, oh, you know, like free spirit, or like it's all the other reasons, but the truth, I feel like it's for attention, like either male or women attention. Like I always like to hear their answers though.
Like, oh, I'm proud of my body.
Yeah, like of course you should be proud.
Yeah, but you know what's really sexy to me is when a woman can dress modestly and still be fire. Like, you know what I'm saying? Still be able to be sexy. Like, they might wear a dress or wear jeans and a regular shirt, or maybe, I don't know. They can their swag and how they dress, and they can put that shit on and still be sexual, but not revealing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to show my ass and my tits for me to show my curves or show whatever it may be. You know what I mean? And you could have respect for yourself and still be sexy. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, that, or be respectful to your man and still, you know, post pictures or whatever it may be. But it's just a certain way how people go about it, and how, like, culture is shifting, you know, for us, especially us being young. You know what I mean? Like, my mom and my dad weren't doing, like, this social media shit. They didn't have to deal with this type of stuff. Even my sisters, to a certain extent, they didn't have to deal with social media and whatnot. What they have, they didn't even have MySpace, bro. That was like us when we were kids. You feel what I'm saying? But when you get to the era that we're in now, there's so much things that can come into play and can negatively impact a relationship. You know, all these different forms of social media, and now someone isn't just focused on just their partner. Now they have so many options. There's so many options people can, you know, hop from relationship to relationship just because it's there. Oh, this person might be better for me. Okay, this person might be better. You know, and I'm not saying, you know, that's nothing against anybody that does that, but at some point, you know, you kind of have to see what you really want and what you really want to build with. You know what I mean? And take a look in the mirror. And I think knowing your worth and your value and, you know, what you want in a relationship and what you don't want in a relationship is big when you're dating or pursuing somebody or whatnot, because, you know, it wasn't until I sat back and did those things and wrote things down to where it's like, okay, what is your ideal person that you would take serious or pursue? And that kind of narrows it down to what you would actually take serious.
Yeah. Man, there was one thought I just had. Oh, I'm trying to think about it again. Oh, yeah. Like, bro, a lot of this stuff is, like, I also blame on men. Like, it's us. Like, for basically crediting and, like, being, like, simps on, like, girls' pictures, DMing, because, like, we're rewarding, like, that type of behavior, like, that content. Like, I mean, I don't, personally, never did, but, like, I mean, the majority of guys, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a reason why a lot of women are doing this, like, for the, obviously, like we said already, like the validation. They get high off of it, like likes, follows, messages, you know, and it might not be from guys that they don't even would never be with, but it's the attention, it's the compliments, it's all these things that, like, get into their head. And this is where OnlyFans comes. This is where, like, all this stuff, and I'm not knocking that. Like, you can do what you want, you know what I mean? But the reality is because of, like, men like this, the men that are, like, not confident to speak into a woman in public. All my relationships, bro, have not been from online. And, like, I'm not saying it's bad to have relationships online or, like, you met somebody online. Like, that's not what I'm saying. Like, that's perfectly fine. But me personally, like, I can talk to a woman, like, in public and not be nervous, you know? But for a lot of men, they can't because they're always inside, you know? And so, like, those type of guys are the same ones that are constantly commenting on, like, women's photos and, like, paying for OnlyFans and like, a lot of this is to blame because of men. Like, you know, I feel like the way women are today is because of the men that they've encountered, and men that haven't, you know, established themselves or not aware of how much value and power they have to help, like, mold society. I mean, look what we've done. Like, a lot of these things and the way the world was because of man, you know. And there's a lot of great things. That the fact that we can complain about men, or, like, you know, men complain about whatever, all this stuff is, like, you know, we made it this far for a reason. It's because of what men and women at the households have, like, helped contribute to where we're at now, you know. And so, like, I always find it ironic too. Like, sometimes it sounds like, I hope we didn't, like, throughout this, like, podcast episode, like, we're not bashing women. Like,
No.
we have our opinions and beliefs on certain things, but at the end of the day, it's us as men. So, like, for, like, me and you, I feel like some of our messages is to help improve and offer a different perspective to a lot of men too. Like, hey, you have to be conscious of, like, your value and your power, you know, your aura. You know, when you walk in a room, people can feel that, the way you talk, the way you think, what you say. Everything is, like, should be, for me, everything's strategic for what I say. Not like I'm manipulating, but I want my message to be perceived a certain way. I want to be what I want to be, which is, like, you know, good intentions. I really do want to help people. I want people to accept themselves and not judge others. You can still have opinions, you know, on certain things. I still have beliefs, you know. My message might be authentically yourself. But there might be things that you do that I might not agree with, you know, or I might not value as much as you do. But it doesn't mean I'm going to tell you how to live your life. You know what I mean? I'm more focused on my life. But if you ask me an opinion, I'm going to give it. Like, it might be against my religion, what you do, right? Or it might not be in my moral compass of how you handle business. But at the end of the day, who am I? You know, yeah. I mean, just to share that, like, we're not knocking women, we're not knocking men, but there are those people that are caught up in this like system where they're not aware of like their impact. Like everybody makes an impact, whether it's a good or a bad. So like you have to be aware of like your words and your actions and how you want the world to be, and don't be so hypocritical. You know, like a lot of people get caught up in like, you can't do that, but I can do this. And like if we want to help society be a good, you know, in a good way, then we have to not be hypocrites too.
Yeah. And to going back what you said about, you know, males being the reason why, you know, these women are portraying themselves like this or doing this, because, yeah, like it comes from a lack of discipline, and a lot of people just imagine being 18 to 27 and still maybe have never experienced being with a woman. You know what I mean? The only experience that they've had with a woman is online, you know, and maybe as soon as they see someone on social media, they're going to, regardless if they're in a relationship or not, they're going to like, comment, whatever, subscribe to OnlyFans. You know, they're indulged in all of their pleasures because there's no form of discipline in them. You know what I'm saying? They never had to control their urges or control, have any discipline when it comes to any of that. So, you know, being supportive of, you know, that culture, that lands on us. You know, I agree that it does land on us. And the only way that we can change that is by changing what we accept. You know, the bad behavior, maybe the you know, the culture, the hookup culture, not giving attention and validation to certain behaviors, not, you know, accepting a certain behavior just because someone looks good, or not accepting, you know, physical abuse, mental abuse, anything because you're attracted to someone or because you lust someone, or, you know, all these sites, you know, pornography, OnlyFans, all this stuff. Like, you know, I do believe it's majority men that is supporting this and putting energy into that, you know. So if they're getting this more attention from doing that than being a good person, having morals, being disciplined, following God, then, you know, it's hard to decipher if they're on the other end of that spectrum, you know. And the only way that we could change that, like I said, is if, you know, we change our, I'm not saying us, but, you know, men as a whole, we change, you know, our perceptions of how we look for our partners, you know, and not just looking for the banging body. I don't care how she acts, just the banging body. And as long as I can pay for her bills, she got a banging body, is good. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, that doesn't last long.
Yeah, 100% too. Yeah.
So one of the things that I wanted to dive into next, you know, we kind of touched on the topic, is like, do you believe social media can be an end all be all when it comes to pursuing a woman? So I'm sure you, I mean, you've dated, you know, quite a lot, and, you know, so have I. Has it ever been to a point to where you've wanted to pursue someone and you looked at their social media or seen their social media and you've lost interest because of how they portray themselves?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. But definitely, I remember there's been a few situations where I was gonna meet up with this girl, a few girls, like before, like I, like, you know, obviously they were attracting, and, you know, I do come with the intentions, kind of what we were talking about earlier. Like I was talking about, like, my intentions, like, I'm looking for a wife, you know, like I'm looking for like a good woman. Like I'm a lover boy, honestly, naturally. Like you know, I'm always trying to like find the right woman I want to be with. I don't really look to just like date, you know, like just a one night stand type thing. But sometimes I might be in a situation where like I like this woman, like I like how she looks. Now let me find, you know, because that's what it starts off as, right? Like when you meet somebody either online well, this is social media we're talking about, so I'll talk about only this. But like, if I see a woman online, I can only judge based off like how she looks, you know. And then I get to know her, then I find out. But if I go on your social media, and then I see like a lot of like city girls and like JT and like Cardi B music, I'm like, that's cool. Like that's like me listening to Tupac, like or like me listening to like certain like rap artists, right? I'm not a killer, like, you know what I'm saying, but I like some of the things that they say in the music. They might like certain things that Cardi B says in the music, whatever. But my thing also too is like, how does she carry herself? Like if you see like a lot of naked pictures, like in my mind, I'm just like, okay, like I am attracted to this woman sexually, but can I really picture myself wifing this girl? And I'm just like, no. And I'm like, you know, sometimes I make a decision where like, you know, should I still meet up with this girl? Like, what are my intentions if I do? And there's a lot of times where I'm like, this just ain't worth it. You know, I don't want to waste time. And I judge by the, you know, the book by its cover, by like what was on social media. Cause my thing is like what you focus on, like how you carry yourself, what's even social media. I think that's your brand. You know, like I look at myself as a brand. So what do I want my brand to reflect, right? Like authenticity, organic. You know, I'm not going to like put this fake image for you. I don't care about validation. I don't need acceptance from nobody. Like I really need to accept myself and then, you know, live by the way God looks at me and the way I want my family and friends to reflect. So like, what's your brand? You know, if I go on your Instagram pages, let's say a woman I'm pursuing, and everything's all about your body and turning up in Miami and New York and like going to Hawaii all the time. I'm just like in Vegas. I'm just like, that says a lot. Sadly, it is true. It's basic. It's like a lot of the women on social media. So it's kind of like, do I really want to deal with that? You know, do I really want to, what are we going to talk about? You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I going to, so yeah, there's a lot of times where like I go on social media. I get a good handful of times. Like I go on social media, I'm just like, I might meet them that night, and then I'll see them post something, and I'm just like turned off. I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. Like I'm gonna just tell them maybe another time.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because it weighs a lot. Because it's like I'd look at it like look at it on a positive spectrum. If this person is single and they're not posting in a way of, you know, I don't want to say disrespecting yourself, but you're posting, you know, let's just say revealing pictures and stuff like that, and you're in Miami and you're on your trips and you're having fun and you're dancing on your social media and showing your body and twerking. It's like, okay, what part of that would a man take you seriously? You feel what I'm saying? Like you said, if you're a brand, like, I want to see the type of shit like you graduation pictures with your family, you spending time, say you do go somewhere, like not feeling the need to like be revealing. Like it's just something about being modest. It might be because I'm biased and like, you know, I'm just a heavy believer in the Bible, but like, I just think that's so attractive. Or like, let's just say they're doing affiliate marketing for a clothing brand that is like sweaters, t-shirts, V-necks, sweaters like this or anything like that, and they're posting on there like that, and they're using their platform to earn money or earn income, build a brand. They have a lash business, they have something, they're grinding or doing something, you know what I mean? I want to see that. Or you work out, or you do something, you know what I'm saying? Rather than just posting shit just because, you know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna do those things, like, make some money for it at least, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't value that at all, you know? And it's like, if you're acting like that, and especially if they might already be in a relationship, there's people that post like that in a relationship, bro. And I just think it's like, if that, at that point, it's just like, what, like, if nothing changed from you being single to you being in a relationship, like, what are you in a relationship for?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you see that a lot too. It's like you see a lot of people post like that, and then they want like a serious relationship. I can't find a man. I was like, you're not gonna find a man posting stuff like this. You know, you're gonna find certain men, right? Like, you're not gonna find the ideal man that Like, why would he want to provide, take care of you if you think you could do it yourself and you don't need a man? You know, you're constantly promoting, posting that, like, I don't need a man. I got money. I got a good job. I got a good career. It's like, yeah, that's great and all, but like, then what am I here for? You know what I mean? Like, you're making it almost seem like I had nothing to offer to you. And it's kind of unattracting. Like, you can't have two alphas in a relationship, you know? At the end of the day, like, the man is to be the leader, I believe, right? But obviously, I understand there's a lot more men that are not up to those standards than there is. Like, you know, they always say it's like what they say is like
there's more beautiful women in the world than there is high value men.
Yeah, and there's like a certain percentages about that, and I think it is true. You know, all the women I talk to, like, you see that all the time. They have bad experiences with men. And then I look at myself. I've always been the way I am now, even in my last relationships. Like, I always have, like, strong, good relationships with, like, the exes that I have in my life. They have love for me forever, and I have love for them too. But sadly, I had to let those relationships go for myself. You know what I mean? Like, I initiated all my breakups because I knew that, you know, you might need a certain man, and I'm not that man. And I got somewhere where I'm trying to go, and I don't see it being with you. Like, for me, it's like once a woman becomes distracting to me, I have to break it off because I feel like you're limiting me. So, like, my biggest thing is, like, I need to be free. Not free to do whatever I want, but free to pursue, like, my goals. And, like, if you're holding me back, like, I have to break that off. And, like, you know, with certain type of women, they're influenced to offer and brand themselves a certain way, like the Cardi B and the music they listen to, and like, yeah, it's good and all, and it's like fun in the beginning, early ages of like your 20s and stuff like that. But I feel like the older you get, usually those are the times when the women realize, like, damn, I've been wasting a lot of time. Like, I should have found a man earlier, because now a lot of women that I've talked to, and you see it, like, they're like, in the U.S., it's a high rate of like women on antidepressants that are lonely, like, the older that they've gotten. And, you know, it's a sad reality too. And I kind of blame that because of us as men in society, like, kind of reward that, you know. But at the end of the day, it's like all these women that are making these type of music are all married and happy relationships. Like, when you think about it, like Cardi B, Offset, Beyonce, Jay-Z, like, all this music is promoting, like, you know, like, I think Sierra just got like a bit. I don't know if you heard about that. Like, Sierra made a song about empowering women and stuff like that. But she's happily married to Russell Wilson with kids, you know what I mean? Like, like, it's very hypocritical, and women are catching on, which is a great thing. And there's a lot of great women. There's a lot of, you know, like, toxic women. There's a lot of great men. There's a lot of emotional men. And, like, you have to really brand yourself to what you want. You want, like, a traditional, ideal, strong man, then you need to be a traditional, strong, modest woman. So, like, but if you're promoting, you know, you're gonna, whatever you promote, you get what you reap, you know. So you have to be very conscious of, like, your image, and, you know, sometimes, you know, reality hits you in the face when you can't get free drinks at the bar like how you used to, or as a man, you know, that the hairline receding, and you really took that with pride. Your whole value was your hair. Like, reality kicks in and, like, humbles you. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, your intentions got to be pure, and your image, like, your brand. Like, who are you? What's your brand? What's your message? Like, that's, like, those are pretty big things.
No, for sure. You know, how you portray yourself, you know, it speaks volumes. Like I said, with your social media, like, what are you doing with it? Do you have a business? Are you promoting yourself in a certain way? Are you doing affiliate marketing? Are you promoting your cosmetology business? Are you promoting your lash business? Are you promoting, you know, clothing? Like, are you doing anything, like, with it? So you're just posting just because, you know what I mean? Like I get it. I get it. Social media, it's your place where you can basically show who you are, you give personality. It's a kind of escape, kind of like how video games are for men. You know what I mean? It's a kind of escape to where you can, you know, not only, you know, communicate with, you know, friends and family, long distance, whatever, but it's also a realm where it's like a big ass dating app, a big ass comparison dating app that, you know, it's like another world, another realm, you know, and it can be very dangerous. And like how we both explained, negative in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you know, this all comes from, you know, communication with your partner. As long as you talk with, you know, your partner, and as long as you communicate what you guys both need and be honest, don't sit there and, oh, well, this is okay, and then a month later be bothered by it, or maybe, you know, something on there is aggravating you, or you feel kind of taken back by certain things, or like, hey, like there's people who you dated that you still follow, or there's people, it's just a whole bunch of things that can play into the relationship that aren't in real life that can affect the relationship. So it's a very thin line when it comes to social media. And you know, as long as you have respect for your person, you communicate with your person while you're, pursuing or in the process of taking someone seriously. um you know, a relationship can be successful. You know, it can be, you know, a something that can build into something special. So we're not saying that, oh, if you're like this, then you're never gonna find someone. No, we're not saying that, but we're saying like communicate with your partner, and you know, if it's, you know, if you're pursuing a guy and you have a whole bunch of revealing pictures on there, if you have to think twice about like, damn, are they bothered by this? Just get rid of it. Why is it that important for you to have pictures of your body on your page?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that important? If you're not making money for it, what is it on there for? What's a picture of your ass on your social media doing for you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that's just my opinion on it.
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah, I mean, the last thing I gotta say about, like, just to like summarize everything up, like, you know, this is a lot of like society, like men and women, that's been like rewarding, like creating delusion. Like we've created so much delusion and like separated from reality to the point where people can't even see their wrongs. Like they're more focused on the image and like status. And you know, that's the problem with a lot of these issues, that like, you know, a woman can't find a man, or a man can't find a woman. Like you see people now going like out the country, bro, out of the U.S. to find a woman, a traditional woman,
and bringing her back
over here. Like that's happening at crazy rates. Like it's just so bizarre to me. And to be honest, I'd never really had this issue. I don't have the issue that a lot of men have had, right? Like I feel like for me, I take a lot of responsibility for. I feel like the man that who I am could show my value by being myself, but back then I didn't have like the security and foundation of what my value was. So you would let certain things slide because you didn't know, like your past relationships. Like for me, I learned a lot from. I admit it, man. I used to be a simp to a certain extent, like not to the point where I got disrespected, like in my face and whatever, get told what to do, or you know, always, you know, not like that, but it's more like I let things go that opened up a lot of more doors that led to disrespect, like, or like less, you know. I don't think it was things a man that was a leader would let go. So, and you know, now like my message is to, you know, help elevate men, and for women to basically like break down all this like delusion. Like, you know, this, whenever there's something that's not going your way, look within, because most likely you're doing something that you're not conscious of that's giving you these results. So that's why I'm saying, like, men got to hold themselves accountable and women got to hold themselves accountable. But it takes men and women to, you know, not only look within themselves, but also don't tell your friend like delusional things like, girl, you deserve it. No, you deserve the world. Yet she's like unhealthy. Yet she doesn't take care of herself. She has a different perception of the world that she idolizes. And as a man too, you don't just, oh man, just you're good, bro. Like, don't even worry about it. Yeah, he's unhealthy. He's not on a journey. He's not trying. He's constantly drinking alcohol, constantly smoking weed, constantly chasing women. Like, no. Like, you gotta, you know, be upfront with like your friends and let them know, like, tell them the real. Because a lot of people are just so scared to hurt their friends' feelings that they rather have them suffer in the long run than just let them get uncomfortable and get hurt from maybe something that you say that stings. You know, I feel like we gotta hold everybody accountable, and it starts with ourselves first.
Yeah, and I feel for the most part, you know, if you have a decent group around you, you're gonna be held accountable for your friends. For the majority, men are held accountable in a lot of ways, but legally, financially, in all aspects of your life. You know, if a guy is maybe a loser, it's common for him to know. Like, people are gonna let you know. If you're a man and you're unemployed, you're living at home, you have no goals, no aspirations, you're not doing anything, you have no purpose, you aren't going to school, you aren't trying to find a trade, people are gonna let you know, you're not doing anything. Like what value do you bring to the table? How are you gonna provide for your family? Like why would a woman want to pursue you, or you pursue a woman and she take you serious? So but for the people who maybe don't have people around them that are holding them accountable, like Juan said, look within yourself. If your situation isn't going how you thought, or maybe you are running into problems, or you're being stumped by something, fix within yourself. You know what I mean? Focus on yourself. Focus on what you need at this point. If you don't have a car, if you don't have a place, work on that. Work on your mental health. Work on your past traumas, so that you'll be able to go into your relationship, or when you're pursuing somebody, it can be a much easier path, and you can pursue someone that you actually want, instead of going up to someone you lust, and now you're focused on all the wrong things, and you're not on your purpose or on your journey. But I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. We appreciate you guys once again for tapping in with us. We love you guys so much. Thank you for all your love and support. And we'll see you guys next time on Self Revelations.
Sheesh.